Hi, my name is Tom Chanter. I'm the Director of Willow Glen Renewables and the Farm Manager of the Greendale Group. Greendale's a very diversified business with lots of different areas, and we're really focusing on each area feeding into the next in order to achieve sustainable and profitable growth. The group likes to feed each different enterprise. So for example, the business park buys power from the AD unit, which is generating electric, and the AD unit is fed by the farm through its manure and the crops that it grows. So you've got 4 enterprises there, all of which are reliant on one another. And it's with this sort of circular economy that we've created that we manage growth. Greendale was started by the Carter family, and it's still owned by the Carter family now. Originally it was a farming enterprise and then came to be a fishing enterprise, and that's really evolved now into a very diverse business which includes fishing fleet, a farm shop, haulage fleet, industrial units which are let, as well as pub, nightclub, and a marina, as well as a few other bits and bobs. So the farm is a beef finishing unit and arable enterprise. We finish around 5,000 cattle a year, and we house about 1,500 cattle at any one time. We've been through quite a period of expansion, particularly on the beef finishing. We've got a very good model, and once we've sort of pinpointed this model that works, we've expanded it quite rapidly. I guess we're now at a stage where we're at a crossroads, and we're probably trying to consolidate the enterprise and making it as efficient as possible because the margins are so tight. So I suppose the main changes since I've been here in the last few years is all been about cattle performance and efficiency of the cattle enterprise. We'd gone from a relatively simple feeding system. We had a KEENAN 400, which is pretty bomb-proof because it's just chains and augers, on a tractor, which if the tractor broke, it was totally interchangeable. We'd just plug in another tractor, that's easy, and we had a telehandler loading it, and we've got loads of telehandlers here. So it was very safe, it was very simple, and if something went wrong, we always had plan B. I suppose now we are very reliant on one machine, but we are absolutely religious about servicing it to the letter. We follow everything. So far, so good. We've done just shy of 1,000 hours in it since we've had it, and it's been very, very good. We do have a backup wagon, but so far we haven't had to use it. But I would always have that plan B, because the feeder wagon to us is like our milking parlour. If it's not working, we haven't got a farm, basically, because if those cattle aren't growing, we've got big problems. So you've got to have plan B. It would be irresponsible if we didn't. Feed is our biggest cost on the farm by a country mile. So I've spent a lot of time trying to eke every last pound and every last kilo out of the feed that we use, and my background in nutrition has sort of given me the tools to do that. When I came to Greendale, we had a tub mixer wagon, which was a fairly solid bit of kit, but what led the change on that was a couple of things. One, it used an incredible amount of diesel to mix the feed, and this is at a time when diesel spiked to kind of 80 or 90p a litre, and it was costing us about 300 quid a day just to feed the cattle in diesel. And then to capacity, the wagon that we had was just too small. So we bought a paddle mixer, a KEENAN 400, which was really good. It was bomb-proof. The diesel usage was minimal on it, which was obviously the big gain, and the capacity was a little bit bigger. I won't lie, we probably abused it. We massively overloaded it because we were trying to feed, at the time, we were trying to feed 1,400 cattle in 4 mixes, and probably it should have been 5 or maybe even 6 mixes. But at the time it did the job, but we knew we were pushing the boundaries on every load. Also, our farm is very spread out, so our straight storage, where the barley and blend and all the rest of it is, compared to our silage clamps, are a long way apart. I mean, in farm terms, one's in Scotland and the other one's in Cornwall, and the cattle are kind of in the middle. So we were spending a huge amount of time ferrying around with telehandlers and moving wagons pointlessly. So the self-propelled seemed like an obvious choice. Keenan were the only one to offer one big enough for what we needed. We needed that huge capacity, so we could actually cut down to 3 mixes a day, which has been great. And that's what really led it, was the fact that we were putting a huge amount of hours on telehandlers and tractors for mixing feed, as well as doing a lot of pointless movements. The self-propelled wagon ticks a lot of boxes very, very, very quickly. We used to spend about 4.5 hours a day feeding, and now we can do it in just under 2.5 hours, I would have thought. It's also a better job. The job is done better, without a shadow of a doubt. The clamp faces are tidier, everything's weighed more accurately. Because we're getting the feed out that much more quickly, it just seems more consistent as well. So it has actually been a massive win. Yeah. Our welfare standards at the farm are exceptional, and that has always driven high cattle performance. But I suppose, whereas we used to be happy with kind of 1.5, 1.6 kilos a day live weight gain, we're now striving for a consistent 2 kilos a day, which we do get. So yeah, there has been some sort of back-end performance lifts as well. I think a farm that's set up where everything's close together, you may not get as many benefits. There would still be benefits, but maybe not as many. But as soon as you've got a farm that's spread out, then you will be winning with a self-propelled. So the cold hard facts are that a telehandler will depreciate at £15 an hour, and a 200 horsepower tractor will depreciate at £18 an hour. So you've got £33 worth of depreciation an hour before you've put diesel in it, tyres in it, a man in it, or anything else. So if you can cut that down, which a self-propelled wagon will help you to do, then you've got to be the right side of it. And happily, it seems that the self-propelled wagons don't depreciate as much as perhaps we anticipated, because we're looking at changing at the moment, and it's all right. It's not been too bad. Housing 1,500 cattle at one time generates an awful lot of manure. We're probably generating, when we're at 1,500 head, probably generating about 45 to 50 tons of dung a day. That takes a bit of handling. We don't necessarily want it all on our land either, because you know, the nutrient loading can be too heavy. So when we took on the AD business, we knew that the AD plant had a ridiculous requirement for crop. I mean, it was so incredibly crop hungry. I was looking at ways of how can we feed more cattle manure and feed less crops into the AD. And after doing quite a lot of research, and I guess again using my bit of nutrition head, it happily turns out that 1 tonne of cattle manure in gas value, so methane value, is worth about 0.6 tonnes of maize. So maize at 50 quid a tonne and dung at, I don't know, a couple of pounds a tonne, all of a sudden looks like a fantastic feedstock. The problem with dung is it's really stodgy, and anaerobic digestion needs flow. It needs to be able to be stirrable. So then we started looking at machinery and equipment that could basically liquidize the dung and make it a lot more AD friendly. And happily, we've halved our maize usage into the AD plant, and we're using between 30 and 40 tons of dung per day, which is a happy medium. It's a happy balance. The AD is all about diet, and you can't overload it with one material more than the other. So we seem to have reached a happy place. After all the crop and dung has been into the AD plant, it produces methane gas. We then clean and cool the methane gas and run it through 2 engines which generate electricity. And that electricity feeds the Greendale farm shop, So all the deep fat fryers and ovens and lighting and aircon and fridges and blah, blah, blah is all fed from the AD plant. And it also supplies the Greendale Business Park, where we've got a range of businesses operating here, everyone from haulage divisions to car sales to all sorts, but they are all running on renewable electric, which is great. The farm shop at Greendale started life as a little place where it just sold eggs, and now it's a multi-award-winning, multifaceted enterprise which has an incredible footfall. Greendale's really lucky it's in this sort of amazing location between Exeter and Sidmouth. It's really near the M5, and the farm shop has become this sort of amazing community hub. It also attracts a lot of visitors. We sell our beef through the farm shop, but there's also lots of fresh local produce available there, everything from vegetables to cheese to olive oils, all sorts that's locally produced. And yeah, we're really proud to have started with something so small that just sold eggs on a very small scale to what it is now, which is a fantastic part of the business. Future-proofing of any business has got to be front and centre. I think Greendale have shown great acumen in really pushing this renewable energy ethos. I think it's going to pay dividends in the long run. I hope that Greendale becomes more and more attractive to tenants who want to be on the business park, and customers are on the farm shop knowing that we're doing something really good, we're doing something really different. I think there's quite a lot of political pressure at the moment, and knowing which way is right and which way is wrong is taking more navigating than it ever has done. But, you know, we've got a lot of support in the business, we've got a lot of knowledge in the business, and we're picking our way steadily through it, definitely. Definitely. I am positive for the future.